Assalamualaikum and hi sir. I am Nur Syafiqah Naswa binti Muhammad Fatani, and today I will be talking about my perception of differentiated instruction as shown by the quote by Carroll and Tomlinson, which is differentiated instruction is not a set of strategies but a way of thinking about teaching and learning. Honestly, when I was initially studying the concept of differentiated instruction or DI, I was somewhat confused. I thought that seems complicated, but what happens in the actual situation in teachers in your Malaysian classroom? However, as I read more, particularly Tomlinson, Moon, Hickok, and the DI notes, I became aware of something. DI does not have anything to do with working harder, but thinking differently. It is about possessing a cultural belief that all students are capable of learning, only not in the same manner and at the same speed. Okay, today I will share the first one, my personal interpretation of the quote. 2. The 4 key components of DI. 3. A realistic Malaysian classroom scenario. 4. How DI supports students with dyslexia and ADHD. Okay, and the last one, my personal reflection as a future educator. As noted by Tomlinson, DI does not constitute a method but rather an attitude. Here's what this means for me. First, DI relates to the perception of student formulated by a teacher. A DI thinking teacher perceives all students as individuals. Others may be quick learners, others shy, others have trouble with the English language, and others have learning disabilities such as dyslexia or ADHD. Yet, all of them need an equal chance to develop. Second, DI is the continuous decision-making process. According to the CAI connection by Tomlinson, curriculum, assessment, instructions, and DI demand that teachers make constant reflections and revisions. Every day, we always ask, what is already known by my student? And what support do they need? How shall I structure tasks to their preparedness? Okay, the third one is DI concerns equity rather than equality. Fairness is to provide each student with what they require, not with the same handout. This quote informs me that DI does not only focus on short strategies as group work, stations, or tired tasks. It is a philosophy of respect for learners, of thinking that each student has a right to be heard. Readiness. Readiness is the level of preparedness of the student to learn something new. This is highly noticeable in Malaysia, where in a single class you can have students who speak excellent English, students who struggle with basic vocabulary, students who never attend preschool, students with dyslexia or ADHD, students from defaulty backgrounds with limited exposure. According to Tomlinson 2015, readiness activities should be respectful. That is meaningful but modified based on the levels of the students. How to apply? First, pre-assessment such as KWL, quick quiz. Second, formative check such as exit, tickets or questionnaires. Third, tired tasks. And lastly, scaffolding, visual simplified text. B. Interest. Interest refers to getting into the area of interest of the students. Our students in Malaysia are quite interested in many things such as K-pop, football, food, TikTok, drawing, and gaming. In the case that we exploit their interests during classes, they become engaged. For example, in an essay writing task, students may choose to write about their idol, a local environmental issue, a hobby, a personal experience. We keep the same learning outcome but change to the context to match interests. Okay, C. Learning style or learning profiles. Student learns differently. There are some that are visual, others are auditory, others are kinesthetic, and others are interpersonal. Tomlinson cautions us that students should not be kept locked up in a single learning style, but they must be provided with a variety of learning opportunities. How to apply? First, provide videos, charts, diagrams. Second, hands-on activities. Third, group discussion. 4. Independent reflection. And lastly, movement-based learning. This respects students' natural preferences. Okay. Last one, which is learning environment. The differentiated classroom should be inviting, such as safe, structured, and accommodating. Malaysia has several students who are shy, unconfident, or fear errors. Others experience nervousness or have difficulties in sitting down because of ADHD. Other dyslexic students are too ashamed to read aloud. This is the reason why environment counts. A DI environment includes encouragement, flexible sitting, clear routine, acceptance of mistakes, teacher-student trust. A safe environment makes learning possible. Now, I want to share a realistic Malaysian classroom scenario combining all DI components. Topic: air pollution. Form 4 English. Before I begin, I conduct a quick pre-assessment, which is write 3 things you know about air pollution. From that, I find Group A, high readiness. Can explain haze episodes in Selangor and Sabah. Group B, medium readiness. Know basic terms like smoke, burning, and forest fires. Okay, Group C, lower readiness. Struggle with vocabulary, including dyslexic students who read slowly. One student ADHD, very active and easily distracted. So, I differentiate first by readiness. Group A, get a more advanced article with AQI data. Thus, analyze the trend and describe the changes using higher order thinking. Okay, Group B, use a simplified article with pictures. Thus, identify causes and effects with guiding questions. Group C, use picture cards and teacher guidance and word bank. Okay, thus, match pictures to simple sentences. Why? This supports SEN students. Okay, first, dyslexic students have shorter text and visuals. Second, ADHD student has an on task that allow movement. Okay. 2. By interest. Student choose one project. First, video PSA for creative or tech-savvy students. 2. Poster drawing for artistic students. 3. Personal reflection paragraph for introverted students. 4. A short role play for expressive students. Okay. Same learning outcome but different paths. Okay. 3. By learning styles. Visual, mind maps, photos, charts. Auditory, short video and teacher explanation. Kinesthetic, sorting activity on causes versus effects. Interpersonal, group discussion. Intrapersonal, silent reflection tasks. ADHD students benefit from movement-based tasks. Dyslexic students benefit from visuals and simplified text. Okay, 4. By learning environment. First, flexible sitting. ADHD student sits at the back where movement is less distracting. Okay, 2. Dyslexic student allowed to read silently, not allowed. 3. Positive feedback to build confidence. 4. Clear instruction on board. And lastly, warm, encouraging tone. Okay. In this case, the I is not of the strategies. It is a plan of rational choice depending on the needs of the students. The first time I heard about the I was really scared. I thought, how can I manage different tasks for different students? What if it becomes too complicated? What if I can't handle SEN students? However, the more I learned about the I, the more my attitude incorporated. I realized that the I is actually about empathy. It is about the view of students as human beings, not as test scores. In Malaysia, our classrooms are very diverse. The first one, students from urban and rural areas. Second, different socio-economic backgrounds. The third, different language at home. The fourth, dyslexia, ADHD, high achievers, slow learners. The 5, students who are confident versus students who are anxious. When we teach all in the same manner, there will be students who will lag behind not due to their weaknesses, but because our teaching method was not suitable to them. DI made me aware that teaching does not consist of covering the syllabus. Teaching involves finding students. Dyslexia and ADHD must touch me. I became emotionally when I heard about the way DI helps such students. A dyslexic student is not slow. They just need the first, shorter text, second, larger fonts, third, more time, fourth, visual support, and lastly, a patient teacher. An ADHD student is not a naughty. They need movement, short, clear instruction, frequent check-ins, hands-on tasks. DI opened my eyes. Every child can succeed if we adjust our approach. DI changed how I see myself as a future teacher. I want to be a teacher who understands the students' feelings, designs lessons that make sense to them, makes every student feel included, celebrates small progress, believe in every child's potential. For me, DI is not extra work. It is the core of inclusive education. And that is what Tomlinson is really referring to by this quote, which is DI is not something we do. It is something we believe. Thanks to the listening of my presentation, I hope that such a sharing does not merely describe the theory of differentiate instruction, but the human face of it, that is, how it works to benefit actual students in actual Malaysian classrooms. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.